And from the national headquarters of RT America in our nation's capital, hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez. This is really, really important because by now you are probably aware that the Mueller report has concluded that President Trump is not a Putin stooge, as media figures, pundits, and politicians have insisted on for what, going on something like 3 years now? They have, in fact, been so insistent, so self-absorbed, that they have failed to see what is really going on. And maybe that's the saddest part of this story. So, in other words, I guess what I'm trying to say is they've missed the real news, the real story. And what I mean by that is this, that they've actually ignored stories that would have revealed to them that not only is Mr. Trump not working for the Russians, in fact, his administration has been hostile toward Russia. Hostile toward Russia. I prepared a list for you, and I'm going to take you through it one by one, all right? And by the way, these are all stories that we have shared with you, that we have reported right here on this newscast, The News with Rick Sanchez. You ready? Let's get to it. Number one. The Trump administration has perilously canceled the INF treaty, the nuke deal that all other U.S. presidents had respected and left in place. He broke the treaty. Number two, it has increased reconnaissance flights over Russia using B-52s, some say armed with missiles now. Number three, it has renewed and intensified sanctions to essentially hammer the Russian economy. Number four, it is blatantly intervening and threatening to use military pressure in Venezuela that happens to be a Russian client state. Are you following this? Number five, it is pressuring Germany's Angela Merkel, a Russian trading partner, to stop importing Russian oil to hurt the Russian economy. Number six, again, this is what the Putin stooges are apparently doing. Number six, it has shipped lethal arms to Ukraine with the suggestion that maybe they can be used against Russia. Number seven, it has bombed Syria, another Russia client state. Those are facts. And the story of Trump being in the pocket of the Kremlin runs contrary to all of those facts. And you know what's even worse? What's even worse, and what should be said, is that the media's wrong-headed coverage and obsession with all things Russiagate has actually had the effect of ratcheting up the tensions between the United States and Russia. Ratcheting up these tensions. Think about that. Two countries that happen to be the most dangerous countries on the planet Earth. You see, bad reporting has consequences. It can even make us all less safe. Bad reporting. This is The News with Rick Sanchez, where we do believe it is time to do news again. Begin with the Mueller effect as it continues to reverberate across the country, making us wonder if it's drowned out some of the stories that we really should have been focusing on. For example, anyone who knows anything about Mr. Trump, his business, and his family knows that there's plenty to investigate that's been going on for decades. It's got nothing to do with Russia. They haven't been paying a lot of attention to that. Then there are the Trump administration policies that even some of the most hawkish among us might question, especially when it comes to how this administration has treated Russia, as I just indicated, or showed, or listed, right? Speaking of hawks among us, allow me to bring in a guy I respect because he's always willing to say what he thinks, whether it's popular or not, and I like that about him. Here now, former Naval Intelligence Officer John Jordan. John, thanks so much for joining us. Hey, let's start with what I proffered a little while ago. Do you think Russiagate is... do you think it's behind us now after the Mueller report?
No, I don't. And here's why. We talk all the time, Rick, on this show about the military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to the grievance Let me introduce you to the grievance-industrial complex. Enormous companies, CNN, NBC, just for two starters, WAPO, which is also owned by Amazon, New York Times, have all made a killing hyping this story. They can't walk it back now because to do so would just kill their viewership and their readership and kill their advertising revenue. This is big money for them, and their credibility as so-called journalists. So now the dollars are going to keep them from walking this back and acknowledging their errors.
But wait, I'm going to push back on you a little bit, because they could make money on any big, yellow journalism type of story, right? Why Russia? Why were they so antsy and so excited to make that Russia-Trump connection, that guilt by association thing, as some would call it?
Well, it was a great story for them. I mean, it had everything. It had international intrigue. It had treason. It had spies. It had weird sex acts allegedly overseas. It had English MI6 agents and Christopher Steele. It had everything for them. And it also allowed them to pursue, while making a lot of money, their bête noire, their black beast, and that was to bring down Trump and undo the 2016 elections, the outcome of which embarrassed them because they'd all predicted the Duchess of Chappaqua would claim her throne. So, yeah, it had everything for him.
But here's the problem, all right? Here's the real problem. Here's the real danger, maybe is the word I should use in this conversation. I also proffered when I was talking to you, when I was explaining this story, that this obsession, this thing that you call all about, it's all about the Benjamins, as you would say, in this case, it's actually made us less safe. I mean, this has a perilous effect on you, me, your children, and my children. No?
Absolutely, it's made us less safe because it has impaired the administration's ability and constrained their ability to make decisions that are in the best interest of the United States and the world because of domestic considerations ginned up by this Russian hoax. It prevented Trump from doing a lot of things and being able to reach out and build relationships and work with Russia because he couldn't, because that would imperil him domestically and potentially legally.
Yeah, it almost sounds like you're saying, well, he had to do what he thought the media wanted so he could please them, and in the process, he made us real hardliners when it came to Russia, something we weren't so much of before. Hey, John Jordan, as usual, a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.